You met each other for 2 weeks, and obviously there had to have been adjustments made, and here you are 6, 7 months later. You basically held hands, jumped off the cliff, and right now, knock on wood, you guys are very happy and grounded. So, and it's wonderful. One of the ways to make sure it works out is you got to pass your immigration interview. We have a game here that we play on our show sometimes called the Bradified Marriage. When you go on your adjustment interview, which will be in probably another 18, 20, 24 months, whatever it is, they're going to ask you questions that only a husband and wife living together would know the answers to. And they want to determine that you married for love. You didn't marry just to give this man a green card, or he didn't pay you to get a green card. One, they ask you questions about your living arrangements. And two, they want to know that you have an economic relationship together, meaning that you jointly commingle your income, and out of that income that you earn, that is commingled, you pay the debts of your marriage, whether it's taxes, credit cards, and that's how they determine whether or not this is a real legitimate marriage. That's the whole basis of this interview. That's what you're waiting on to get your green card. Now, many times you fumble through the interview or the officer thinks there's something fishy going on. They're going to separate you into 2 different rooms. I don't know, Nicholas, if you're familiar from Colombia, but I know Jessa should be familiar with a game back from the 1970s, a game show called the Newlywed Game, where they would literally put somebody in a soundproof booth and then ask newlyweds a question and see if the spouse can get the answer. In USCIS, they call this the Stokes interview. They're going to separate you into 2 different rooms. And they're going to ask Jessa about, this is assuming you don't get through on the first time around. And I assume you will, and hopefully you won't get to this stage. But if you do, they're going to ask Jessa about 100 questions about your life and your lifestyle. And they're going to ask you about 100 questions. And then they got to match. And then sometimes they don't match. And then they bring you in and ask for an explanation. We like to call this the Bradified Marriage game. What we're going to do is I'm going to ask you about 4 or 5 questions that it's possible, because you never know what you're going to get at that interview. Now, we're not going to separate you into 2 different rooms, but I understand you have a pad and paper in front of you somewhere. And don't show your spouse what you're writing. And that's correct, right? We're going to then ask you to lift up the answer at the same time and see how well you or not well you guys are going to do. Now, I will say the last couple that we had on that did this, we know are in a legitimate marriage, and they only got 1 out of 5 questions right. So you ready to start?
Yes.
Okay. What was the last restaurant the 2 of you went out to, the name of it, and what did you eat for dinner? That is the question.
Okay.
All right. Nicholas, you ready?
Yes.
All right. So let's put up the paper. The name of the restaurant and what did you eat for dinner is?
It was some Italian place.
Italian place, veal, and Nicholas has no idea what he ate. But you're close. Oh, he said pasta? I just thought blank. All right. I give that. I give that to you. All right, 1 for 1. I give that to you. How many locks are on the front door of your apartment door?
Okay.
You ready? The answer is 3,
What?
and you say 2. You guys are not living in the same apartment. What was the problem?
One doesn't work.
We have one that does.
You have one that doesn't work. That's exactly what would happen, why somebody would screw up. That's a question that is 99% of the time always asked. And I've seen people screw up also because there's sometimes a lock, not a lock on the actual doorknob, and they don't count that sometimes as well. Before you go for your interview, and this is for everybody, not only you, but for everybody, you have to walk around your house and be aware of everything in that house. How many locks, colors of furniture, where the air conditioner comes from, where you turn on the heat. All of those questions on your daily, everyday life of living in the house, you're going to be asked specific questions about. Okay. 1 for 2. You ready? For question number 3. What time do each of you generally wake up for work in the morning? What time do you wake up, and what time does Nicholas wake up? So you can ask both times. All right, you ready? All right, what do we got? What time do you wake up? All right, 6:30 is him, 7 o'clock is me, and he has the same thing. Congratulations, right? He had the same thing. Congratulations. All right, so that's 2 out of 3. Okay. I would say that I'm going to give you 2 more questions. And if you pass these 2 questions, you got 4 out of 5 right. And the one you got wrong was kind of iffy. I would Bradify the marriage and say you'll do fine. All right, let's see. Okay. All right, next question. What is the name of the toothpaste that you use in your bathroom currently? What is the name of the toothpaste that you use in your bathroom currently? And the answer is Colgate, him Colgate, me Tom's. Okay, all right, you got it. That's good, but at least you got Colgate. All right. What? You didn't know Tom's, Nicholas? No. All right, last question, but we'll give that one to you as well. We'll give that one to you as well. The last question. Tell me the names of your in-laws. What are the names of your in-laws? The first name of Nicholas's mom and dad, Jessa, you have to say that. And Nicholas, all right, and obviously, Nicholas, you also have to say the names of what your parents are so we can compare.
Okay.
Are you ready? The 4 names of the in-laws are, let's see, Kathy, Jim, Jamie, Emma, Jack, Kathy. All right, so you missed one somewhere. You got 3 out of 4. You didn't know one of them?
I didn't know. I don't remember his father's
name. You guys knew enough. You would have passed. Thank you for playing. So I give you a pass, but there are little things like that screw you up, and it really depends on the immigration office. When I was a young lawyer, I went on a Stokes interview, and it must have been my first or second interview, and they asked the couple, what did you do for dinner last night? And the guy said he went to McDonald's, and the other woman said, we had hamburgers. And the officer said, no, you got that question wrong. I'm like, what, are you out of your mind? They ate hamburgers at McDonald's, and I went crazy. Okay? So sometimes you get officers who are literally want to see the same exact words because they got blinders on. So you really have to really think about it ahead of time before you go to your interview. You got plenty of time, but you did really well. I really appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you. And we look forward to hearing more about your relationship. It's really amazing. You guys met on Tinder in 2 weeks. You got engaged. A month later, you were already married and filing papers for your green card. Your entire lives have changed. It sounds like they've changed for the better. So congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on.